Abroad, Spain is our #1 destination. And it's had the biggest building boom in Europe, with nearly 1 million new homes being built last year. But recently its government's introduced tough new laws to stop the urban sprawl. The result? Up to 100,000 properties could be demolished, including many that were built legally. In Almeria, they've already made an example of one British couple by reducing their home to rubble.
We're just absolutely gutted. We just can't believe that it's happened.
See what it's done?
It's just completely ruined our life.
In 2002, Len and Helen Pryor bought land in Andalucia in southern Spain. They plan to retire there.
Well, we just liked the idea of how near the sea was, the mountains, and just location.
And of course it's beautiful weather all the time because this is the desert region.
They got a license to build a 3-bedroom villa, which they called Tranquility.
We had lots of family and friends over. They loved it. It was just heaven, absolute heaven, really was.
Their daughter Louisa and her daughter Jessica flew over for holidays.
Mum and Dad were having such a good time out here and they loved it. And every time we visited, they just looked so happy and healthy.
But that happiness would soon be shattered.
A long time after we moved in, we started hearing rumours that the building plots would have to be used for growing things or raising stock. It couldn't just be a house.
Then they were summoned to the town hall in Vera to collect a letter. A secretary translated it for them.
She said they want to knock your house down.
Absolutely couldn't believe what she was telling us. Dumbfounded.
The Andalusian government had withdrawn the couple's building licence because their house is on protected rustic land. That meant it could be demolished. Len and Helen contacted a lawyer, Victor Martinez.
Victor assured us that it would never ever be knocked down because we got the legal paperwork.
The lawyer duly lodged an appeal with the High Court in Madrid against the decision to demolish.
We were told that anything going through the courts in Madrid could take 4 to 5 years because they have such a backload of work, and nothing would happen for at least 4 to 5 years. And basically, forget about it, we were legal. So it was always in the back of our mind, but we did get on with our life here.
But the Andalusian government didn't wait for the appeal to be heard. After just 1 month, they went ahead with the next stage.
The second letter arrived to say the house was going to be demolished on the 9th of January at 11 o'clock.
Still didn't believe anything was going to happen. Went to fill the kettle up for a cup of coffee and found out there was no water. And then shortly after that, the electricity was cut off. And then we definitely knew then that something was going to happen.
When we looked up the lane, we saw all the local police, state police, police everywhere.
The couple had just hours to find a removal firm to get their furniture out.
Somebody has got to pay for this because we are not responsible. Why should we pay for this? We're not responsible for this. We have no money left.
Dad was very upset and he was sort of just wandering around, really just shocked, I think.
The only thing I remember is Victor talking outside the gate. And then really I don't remember much after that.
When the removal van started coming in and the house started being empty, Dad just collapsed. We assumed he had a heart attack because he has got a bad heart.
Victor, can someone phone an ambulance? We don't have to do it. See what they've done.
It was just awful. It, you know, it blurs into...
disbelief.
It does.
Len hadn't had a heart attack, but his blood pressure was dangerously high.
I was told I was not allowed, under any circumstances, to come back here. They think my blood pressure would have gone so high, I would have had a problem with my heart.
The demolition crew were determined to press on. Helen only had an hour to empty her home.
It's got to be done straight away.
Everybody was rushing round and saying, what do you want out next and what's got to come next? So we literally just took everything we could. And then
people just sort of started coming off the street, drove past, saw what was happening, came and helped us.
There's just so many people here that we didn't know. It was just, you didn't actually have time to think. You just had to empty the house as quick as possible.
Thank goodness for wonderful neighbours, basically. Otherwise, we'd own nothing at all.
At 3:30 p.m, the bulldozer arrived. What happened next was to strike fear into the heart of every British homeowner in Spain. The battle to save this Spanish holiday villa called Tranquility was lost in January 2008. Len and Helen Pryor's home was about to be bulldozed because the planning permission they'd got 5 years earlier had been withdrawn by the regional government.
When the bulldozers started knocking the house down, it was still something that didn't seem to be happening. I honestly think I was in shock. Convinced I was.
It took so long as well. It took days. So for days, my mum and dad were here, just watching the house come down bit by bit by bit.
The house had cost them £300,000 to build. It was worth almost double that when the bulldozers moved in.
We just can't believe that it's happened. We were hoping to be here for the rest of our lives. Crazy.
I would like the King of Spain to come down and look at my rubble and then let him tell me why this has happened.
In all, it took 4 days for Len and Helen's villa to be reduced to a slab of concrete. It's been a week since the demolition. They're living in a caravan donated by a local fairground.
It feels very strange, very, very strange. I don't really think it's sunk in quite yet.
Still angry, sad, and very bitter, very bitter.